Oh boy, here we go. Hey folks, this is Soul with what I hope are some explanations and feedback on Circe's Circlet and how it works in the upcoming 1107 patch. We're just gonna get right into it. Like and subscribe if this sort of info, feedback, complaining, if any of it is of any value. So some of you have been watching on stream as I've investigated how Siren Isle works. I did a couple of playthroughs. I looked up some feedback on forums and even Wowhead, and I want to raise a concern about the cool little ring that we can make this Circe's Circlet. At the moment, it feels like an update to that gimmicky Onyx Amulet ring that we got during Dragonflight. It did a bit to mess with like the meta gearing, but it was fairly easy to throw together. This new ring aims to do the same. In fact, it's a little bit easier to power up, or at least it's supposed to be. The feedback I see making the rounds is it's mostly on two things. Like there's unlocking flight on Siren Isle and raising the ring's item level. I don't intend to diminish the feedback or dismiss the principle of being able to fly and then have that feel restricted all of a sudden. But in fairness, the story of the zone is about controlling the weather in the area, which prevents flying around anyway. So the story, it's baked in. Raising the ring's item level appears to be a weekly thing, as many have stated. It's the equivalent of the work is the equivalent of completing a round of world quests or completing the Mechagon Zone wide weekly for people familiar with BFA. The items used for this, they seem to be time gated like any other season currency where you get one a week, but alts can definitely catch up. Like I've seen these upgrades drop from rares, so I don't imagine alts are going to have a lot of trouble powering up the ring down the road as long as they just show up on their own time. I explained this in an earlier video, but I believe some of the warband features of this patch don't work right on the PTR because I have one character who completed the whole quest line. Meanwhile, alts are almost treated like they never showed up, and yet the zone vendors and currencies seem to be designed in such a way that alts should be able to show up their first time and just immediately get a ring and buy whatever citrine or citrines they want. That's the gems that customize the ring, and then off they go to power it up. But the concern that I have is focused on the gems themselves. There are 12 of them, and the way the zone is set up so far, the way we get them is highly restrictive. We should expect in our first week to get 4 gems. The first 3 seem to be set in stone. They're fixed. They're always going to be the same. One of them is earned from a quest. 2 more are earned from defeating summoned rares in the zone. The rares are really easy to summon. You just throw in some currency on a table. The boss appears after a few minutes, giving everyone plenty of time to get there. You kill it, and then there's a 5-minute cooldown before the summoning sequence then can start again. So it's going to be very brisk, and people will be able to easily participate, I think. These first 3 gems, like I said, they're fixed, so we can at least have a complete ring. Now remember, despite how highly we think of ourselves and how this ring should be like super awesome, best in slot, all DPS stuff, the zone is tailored for max level characters who, just got to max level. Anyway, the 4th gem is earned by completing the weekly quest. The gem is randomly chosen, and in the PTR, it's the same for everyone. Whenever you earn a gem, it's announced that now it's available from the vendors on Siren Isle. But you also just got the gem, so there's no need to buy one, and you can't make a second ring as like a backup. That's not necessary. So my theory is these unlocked gems should be purchasable across the warband. That makes a ton of sense, so alts don't have to do that extra work, and I think it's just broken on the PTR at the moment. The current issue that I want to point out is I'm not sure how we're supposed to get more gems in a reasonable amount of time. Like, as of right now, I'm only seeing 1 new gem appearing from the weekly quest, and that's it. It's 1 a week, and there's a total of 12 gems. That kind of sucks. My hope is that these gems will drop from other sources like the summon table, which hasn't had new gems appear, because otherwise those rare prize boxes we get, it's very forgettable. There's not much of a reason to do them if we don't see a cool reward behind it. Even then though, if we can't just hard farm our way to collecting all these gems in a day or so, if people really want to, this a big chunk of this patch with this island and everything, it's going to be a big miss. No one's going to be all that happy having to wait until next week, so hopefully the gems they want to drop. Like, it's one thing to wait for the ring's power to go up. It's another when we don't have any control over the customization. It's going to feel kind of like Legion Legendaries, but, lower stakes, and I don't think pacing this ring behind anything past killing rares until we're done is going to sit well with people. Of course, this is the PTR, and my testing might not reflect what goes live at all, but I do have suggestions based on what I've seen. Like I said, having the first 3 gems be fixed for the sake of completing a ring, that works out fine. Unlocking gems on the vendor across the warband, also cool, assuming that's how it's supposed to work. After this, though, I think gems could be farmed up by killing rares with a random drop, or have them continue to appear on the summon table on a very regular basis. The daily grind that people are going to be coming in for, it ought to be for the good stuff, as in the appearances and the currency to buy more appearances and catch-up gear. People are already going to wait to fly and wait to power up the ring's powers, but gating the gems, it's just straight up a bad idea. Hopefully that's the plan all along, to give these gems on a more timely basis. But until then, that's my feedback. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay breezy.